So this is what I take all my market tags into markets. I can just like throw it in one of my tote bags. I like to roll them like this. I put a rubber band around it. Thermal printer, I make these size tags. I've also made several of these just like blanket numbers, like no text, no nothing, just numbers. This is a perfect example of why I have 2 separate planners. It's 2 weeks until my biggest show and we got a lot of work to do. If you're new here, hi y'all, I'm Brittany, the mom and maker behind Ginger Patch Designs, a handmade business that I run here out of my home. If you're not new here, you know that I've been making a lot of changes around market season and the holiday shopping season in general, both like with the physical products and then mainly on the administrative end, like just streamlining and making the whole process more efficient, because I am a one-woman show, and so efficiency has been like one of my theme words for the year. As a side note, I have made the mistake in the past of calling myself a solo mompreneur and a one-woman show. I am married. I have support from my husband, but he travels all the time for work. So when I say I'm a one-woman show, like I run the business by myself, but I'm married. I've just got my Notion pulled up here. I've got the heat press heating up to press some apparel. I am not an apparel business when I say I'm a handmade business, but I do have supplement. I call it a supplement. I mainly sell a lot of apparel during market season, holiday season. And so I pick like 4 to 6-ish designs to just stick with, and they really kind of go along with the vibe of the business. And speaking of apparel, I want to say thank you to Kittle for sponsoring this video. More on them later. So when I make stickers or even the magnetic bookmarks, I don't like just dedicate sticker time or bookmark time. Like, it's too time consuming, because I would rather like print a bunch of sheets all at once and then do all the laminating all at once and then do all the cutting all at once, if that makes sense. To me, that is less time consuming than feeling like I'm being chained to the machine, because I don't have time for that. I can laminate all of these real quick, and then in between like heat pressing the clothes and doing other things, I can just be swapping these out in the Cricut. I know that you hear a lot online about niching down and focus on like one thing or like one category, and I agree with that to an extent, but like I'm not an apparel business, I'm not a sticker business, but I have them because they're a nice supplement. They kind of like round out like the overall vibe and theme of the business. For example, like the stickers that I choose, the apparel designs that I choose, like they match and they go with the like cozy but useful, pretty vibe that I like to have with all of my products. And honestly, at market season, you would be shocked, or maybe not, at just how much extra you could get from just stickers and bookmarks. Like sometimes at the bigger shows, I'll sell over $100, sometimes $200 of just stickers and bookmarks, not the magnetic ones. Those are more expensive. I'm talking about just like the paper I call them the classic ones because they're just like paper laminated bookmarks. And sometimes I have some matte ones because it's just people's preference, you know. Oh, look at these. So these are, I did these last year. They're called Elf approved Happy Mail. So at Christmas time, I would put these, I called them Elf Mail on all the packages, and they were so stinking cute. So I went ahead and printed those, even though we're not near Christmas time. Hobby Lobby has their stuff out, so I better be keeping up with Hobby Lobby, right? So this is actually a design from last year. It's a Highland cow, and I had it on a white sweatshirt, and I was not going to bring it back. I was getting rid of it, but if you saw in my market vlog, as small as that market was, there was still just as much interest in the cow sweatshirt as last year. So I was like, But I heard a lot of people say in the past, last year, about it being on white. And so I put it on white because it really popped. But I think it looks really cute on the sand colored sweatshirt as well. So one of my goals this year was to come up with some of my own custom designs. Now I'm going to tell y'all right now, I am, shall we say, selectively crafty. Like I'm not naturally good at drawing, graphic design, manipulating images, figuring out what looks good with what. It takes me a long time to like really make something look good, but I wanted to come up with some of my own designs this year, just a few. And so that leads me to today's sponsor, which is Kittl. Kittl is an all-in-one design platform with pro-level vector, pixel, and layout tools all in one place. Now, if you're not at all experienced in graphic design, don't let that lingo scare you off. That just means that Kittl provides an ultra customizable experience for whatever your business or hobby needs might be. For example, the number one thing all business owners want to make sure is absolutely perfect is their logo. Kittl has advanced text editing and built-in templates for inspiration and to help get you started. Their clear commercial licensing allows you peace of mind when choosing from their over 1,000 fonts, 55,000 plus templates, and 70,000 plus elements, and their custom library is constantly growing. You can create professional-looking logos, email marketing, social media posters, packaging, print-on-demand designs, and so much more. When you create a new project in Kittl, you have all of your tools over here on the left-hand side. You have your templates, and they've got them categorized based on what your needs might be, or you can just search here. We have text options, illustrations, images, and here is the button for your brand kits. Now, I've already started one for Ginger Patch Designs, but you can actually add multiple brand kits. You can add as many text to your brand kit as you like. You can add custom hex codes here. You can upload custom photos here and organize those into folders. And then here is the AI feature that Kittl can help you get started. It has various tools based on text or images. Whether you're experienced in graphic design or a newbie like me, Kittl's design dashboard is your one-stop shop for creating aesthetic designs. One of the designs I was able to make, albeit very simple, was the undiagnosed crafty ADD, which is me. If you are not new here, you know this is me and I can't be the only one, right? Friends, if you want to save 25% off on your premium Kittl membership for new members only, make sure you click the link down in the description below. Yet another reason why I absolutely love my Cave Vibe office chair. It's a great apparel catch-all. So we're going to take all this, we're going to fold it, wrap it, and band it. I've debated so many times over like how to display the apparel and it still be cute but efficient and not like, you know, messy. I just find that the best thing that I like, given that I'm not strictly an apparel business, I like to roll them like this. I put a rubber band around it, and then I made these with my Dymo, not a Dymo, I don't know why I said Dymo, it's a Munbin thermal printer. I make these size tags, and then I just tag it. And then I'll have like one of each type of design that I have that I will have as like samples. I have a ladder wall that my husband made for me and I painted it pink. So sometimes I use that, and then sometimes if it's a small setup, I'll just drape them in front of the table, like down the front of the table. This seems much more efficient. I'm gonna do it like this. I just remembered though that my friend Amy, she loves to do mock-ups, like just like picture photo mock-ups with clothes, like for fun. And she told me, she was really insistent. She really was like, next time you do some new designs, can I do some mock-ups? Like, can I play with your apparel? So I'm like, sure. So I'm gonna set one of each of these out and we'll see what she can come up with for us. The sweatshirts are so bulky that I like to kind of tri-fold them like that so you can still see what design it is, so when people are looking for their size, because sometimes I have sweatshirts with the same colors but different designs on them. Okay, I have all of the apparel finished. All of the blanks that I have in stock are finished. All the stickers are finished. I only have about 30 or 35 minutes before I have to go pick up my daughter, and so I don't really want to start the market signage. I'll probably save that for tomorrow or this evening, but I do have this giant stack. It feels bigger in my hand than it looks like in the camera, of makeup bags that I want to sew for the market in 2 weeks. So the festival I'm doing is a 3-day, and then there's another single day but a really decent event the following weekend. And so I essentially prep for both at the same time. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through all of this. I'm gonna go ahead and quilt all of it definitely this week, and then depending on the time, I might end up just being able to do like 1 or 2 of each pattern. We'll see. But since I've only got 30 minutes, I'm just gonna start quilting these. actually 12:30. I've been working on something that I've been procrastinating on because I couldn't get it like just the way I wanted it, but I finished it and I sent it off for approval. Got my afternoon cup in my Happy Fall mug. Yesterday, I got a lot of sewing done. I got this whole stack. I finished quilting it. I got the liners cut, and I got one side of all of the zippers done, and I need to do the other side. And this is what I really want to be working on right now. But I need to do my market tags. So this is what I take all my market tags into markets. I can just like throw it in one of my tote bags. My goal every year is to just do these once and be done with it, and hopefully just reuse them over and over again, because sometimes I use a lot of ink. As you can tell, I have an eco tank. Now, if you have a printer that does cartridges, I don't know if I would recommend printing yours with all the color that I do, because you'll be spending a lot of money. But since I've moved to barcodes and there's very few things that I'm actually tagging, I'm not saying it wouldn't be beneficial to have, you know, the price listed next to the item, but everything's going to be tagged anyways. And let's be honest, half the time they just ask, which is fine. But the greater purpose of having the tags is so customers can see what the item is. And if they're even remotely interested, they're going to pick it up, they're going to look at it. If they can see the hang tag on the product, they're going to flip that over and look at it. The price is right there, right? And so that's why I'm redoing these. And a lot of the prices on here are just outdated, or I've had to increase because we're having to increase prices on everything, right? And so they just need an overhaul. This is an absolute mess. So I think what I'm going to do is make a stack of, some of these are garbage, and then other ones I'm going to make a stack of ones that I need to redo, and then garbage pile, and then I'm going to keep it, but it can go in the bottom of the pile, just in case. I've also made several of these just like blanket numbers, like no text, no nothing, just numbers. And I need to make a lot more of these. And I'm going to make every increment of dollar amount that I can think of that I would possibly use. And some of them multiple, like there's a few items that I have, few different items that are all $12. So I need to make like 3 or 4 of those just to have. I just think it's great just to have in case you like, you thought you made a certain market sign and you didn't. They're just a great backup. I also keep signs like stocking stuffers, clearance, prices marked. I can just, you know, if I randomly at the market decide I want to do something like that, they're just good to have. And this thing, one time I had a display that was already secondhand, and the very top of it, the little where you would normally put a sign, it was broken and I couldn't put anything up there, and it just looked really barren. And so I printed this. It's just like these are some of my brand colors, and I made this on Canva, and it was just like something to put in that display. And it was so much ink, I can't bring myself to get rid of it, because as soon as I throw it away, I'll have a use for it. So I'm just gonna keep it. A lot of my price signs that I redid last year, I would add tax included on here. When I was using Square, again, I had stuff on Square, Etsy, and Shopify, and it drove me insane. You're welcome to go watch that video if you haven't already, where I share the pros and cons of each. It was just so much easier when I was putting inventory on Square to just have the tax included, because when you're taking cash at markets, and some people do it, and that's fine. Like typically I would have charged like $13 for this baby eagle, but to compensate roundabout for the tax, I would just up it for $1. And it just made taking cash payments and card payments and all that so much easier. But I'm not doing it that way. I am doing Shopify only, which means I will have to have coin change. I just realized I need coins from the bank. I need to write that down. This is a perfect example of why I have 2 separate planners. I have a work planner in my Notion. Like all of my work to-dos, my brain dumps, my week at a glance, daily to-do list is all in Notion. But then I have a paper personal planner. It's Power Sheets that my friend gave to me, which is my household, family, homeschool, everything planner. I'm not going to get coins from the bank in my work planner because I will not see it and I will forget. I am looking at my home planner when I'm doing errands and planning my days through that lens. So I'm going to go add that to my list real quick so I don't forget. Oh, mom brain. So my friend gave me this gorgeous Power Sheets planner. I think I've shared it on here before. I actually do add important dates to this one, even though this is the work one. I'm not gonna show, or this is the home one. I'm not gonna show you like what this looks like because it's not aesthetic. I do not have pretty handwriting. It gets very messy. As much as I try to keep it organized, it's not like a teacher planner, I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but this is just the way my brain works, having work stuff in Notion and having family stuff on a paper planner, because I can take this with me, like when I meet my friend at the coffee shop and we're going over stuff, or if my husband and I are planning out dates, I can just take this. I know some people like doing it on their phone. I cannot, I need paper. I'm a list maker. As far as how I'm going to approach adding new inventory now that I'm doing barcodes and then adding the barcodes. Again, I'm new at this. This might change, but this is just what I'm doing right now because it works in my head, right? I'm moving to in-stock finished product only, as I've said in previous vlogs. So all this that's on my table over here will not be added to inventory until it is completed. And then before I even put it in a tote or whatever, I'm going to print those UPCs and go ahead and put those on there. So products are finished, they get added to inventory, they get tagged with the barcode. If it's something that gets tagged, again, I'm not tagging wristlets, AirPods, stickers, bookmarks, like the really tiny stuff. That way, when it starts getting nitty gritty here in a few weeks, I'm not scrambling at a market like, oh my gosh, I forgot to tag this one thing. Everything that has already been to market, the little church event that I had a couple weeks ago, is already tagged. So I need to go through everything that I did not take to market and make sure all of that gets tagged. Cut them out yet because this is definitely something I can just do in front of the TV, but I wanted to show you how I changed. So I redid my, this is like next to the checkout and it's got QR codes to all of my main things. I did have TikTok right here instead of Instagram, but I still have TikTok. I know I've talked about this before, but I really use Instagram on a daily basis. I just like it so much better. And so I reprinted this with my Instagram on it instead of TikTok. And then I reprinted all of these without the price. These are all the things that will have the barcodes on the items. And so I reprinted those. I also got my huge stack. This is, I think, 6 laptop sleeves. I'm doing 13 and 14 inch. I'm not bringing any 15 inch just because like those are ginormous and I just, watch me say that I don't think they will sell and then someone will ask for an oversized laptop case. That's usually how it goes, right? And then I think I've got about 8 or 9 extra jumbo boxy bags to add to what I've already got partially finished. As of today, it's 8 days until I have to set up for this big festival. And so between today, tomorrow, and over the weekend, I feel very confident that I can get all of these finished. I'm not trying to be in a mad rush next week because I would still love to spend some quality time with my daughter since over the next few weekends, I'm not gonna get to see her as much, So let me know down in the comments, friends, what you're doing in particular to help prep for this holiday market season. If you want more crafty content like this and future market vlogs, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I will see you later, friends. Bye.